I was talking to Chloe Kelly yesterday, and she was talking about how the National Lottery has helped women's football clubs, with facilities, simple facilities. I mean, there's so much. So if you have ever bought a lottery ticket and not won, I'm telling you, you have won. You've helped me, you've helped millions of other people.
Apparently you were out at the movies last night, I'm hearing.
Yes. I went to a special screening of Wicked with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and the director John Cho. And my daughter has been Ariana Grande's biggest fan for many
gosh.
years. And I had been told by somebody who was on this committee that I wasn't going to get financed, because the reader of my script has sent in a report saying no, pass, because they're never going to find an Indian girl who can bend a ball like David Beckham. I could have listened to people who thought women playing football was a joke, but I knew that it was something bigger than that. Morning!
Oh my goodness, so you were listening to the show and you heard me welling up there because of all your wonderment and Bend It Like Beckham and the joy and the success and the inspiration and the life and the billions of pounds and the hundreds of millions of girls that it's inspired. Congratulations. Thank you, Gurinder.
Thank you. What a party you're having. How lovely.
Can you tell us the story of your amazing film and the National Lottery funding, please?
So what happened was I had seen Ian Wright in the 90s come onto the football pitch with a Union Jack around his shoulders. And I was just amazed. I'm like, what is he doing? I've never seen that before. Because to me, the Union Jack was always a sort of right-wing thing growing up, with football, hooligans and all the rest of it. But when I saw that, I thought something's changed. So I thought, what would happen if I put an Indian girl right in the middle of the men's world of football and see what happens? Because football was changing, the country was changing, England was changing, and that was the idea. But I didn't know it was going to take me years and years and years to get the film financed, because everyone laughed. Everyone was like, a film about girls and football? You must be joking. It was like ridiculous. Honestly, it's like your reaction. People like that. They were like, you're mad. I went, no.
No, I'm laughing at the fact that they thought you were mad, knowing what we know now. But of course, general hindsight never won a war. It's funny, isn't it? Because we were talking about This Is England also receiving National Lottery funding. And in many ways, your film is the bookend to that, I suppose.
Yes. See, what happened was I was actually not going to get lottery funding at the time, because the way it worked back then was you would submit your script, someone would read it, and then they would decide whether to tell the committee to give the money or not. And I had been told by somebody who was on this committee that I wasn't going to get financed, because the reader of my script has sent in a report saying no, pass, because they're never going to find an Indian girl who can bend a ball like David Beckham. And I was like, are you joking me? I was furious. I said, does this guy think Harrison Ford jumps out of helicopters? What does he think? And as it happens, I did meet Harrison Ford a few years ago in Cannes, and I told him this story. And he said, Gurinder, I'm so happy I've been an instrumental part of your career.
Oh, wow.
But I do jump out of helicopters.
Wow. So we don't get.
But then they gave me the money,
Yeah.
and that was it. As soon as I got the lottery finance of £957,000, everything started falling into place. And if it hadn't been for the lottery, I wouldn't have been able to make Bend It Like Beckham. We wouldn't have had the Lionesses win, because the Lionesses have gone on record to say they were inspired from watching the film to get into football, as has the US champion team.
Yeah.
They also, so it's amazing to me, the power of film and how it has inspired so many women.
Yeah, so it's funny, isn't it? Because the stars do have to align. And, what we have to do is you can pray for the stars to align, but you've got to do the work to be in the right position, because they do say that if you get yourself in the right position, you can look like a genius, even if you're not. And by the way, I think you probably are anyway. But if you are a genius and you put yourself in the wrong position, you look like an idiot. So it's all about loading the bases in your favor and doing whatever you can to get your dream across the line.
I think, I'm a great believer in fate. I'm Indian. I believe in astrology. I believe in all those things. But you're absolutely right. I think you have to I had to work 3 years to get that film finance. I could have given up. I could have listened to people who thought women playing football was a joke, But I knew that it was something bigger than that. I knew that I was going to touch something in the world at that time. It was a sea change. And I don't know, we call it some divine power, I don't know, but I was pushed to that point. And then once the film came out, because of course it came out after 9/11, 6 months after 9/11, the world was ready to see something that was sort of warm and heartwarming and about cultures coming together. And so, yeah, I think exactly what you're saying is right. The stars were aligned.
Right, now, apparently you were out at the movies last night, I'm hearing.
Yes, yes. I went to a special screening of Wicked with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and the director John Cho. And my daughter has been Ariana Grande's biggest fan for
Oh
many,
my
many years.
gosh.
So it was all that. And then after the movie, there was a Q&A, which was lovely. And I was filming away, getting her in the frame and getting Ariana Grande in the frame. And then at the end, as when the Q&A finished, she jumped up and went straight to the front and went, Ariana, I'm your biggest fan. She did one of those. And I was cringing because everyone knew who I was. But then Ariana Grande knelt down, gave her a big hug. Cynthia Erivo knelt down. They both sort of hugged and kissed her, and everyone was crying. They were crying. The actresses were crying.
Oh
And
my
it was like,
gosh.
what a magical moment. My
Yeah.
God.
It was a
So
magic. London had a lot of magic going on last night. Gurinder, thanks for being on the show. This is Serendipity. The stars have aligned this morning for us. Thank you for your film. Thank you to the hundreds of millions of girls you've already inspired, and that will turn into billions. And the billion-pound global women's football industry will one day be trillions, and that's down to Ian Wright, that Union Jack, you and your brilliant mind, and the National Lottery. So that's an amazing story, and that's all true, isn't it? What I've just said is fact.
absolute fact. And, I want to actually thank every single person who's bought a lottery ticket, because there's so much great stuff that we don't even know about that they do. I was talking to Chloe Kelly yesterday, and she was talking about how the National Lottery has helped women's football clubs, with facilities, simple facilities to, further encourage women to become international sportswomen. I mean, there's so much. So if you have ever bought a lottery ticket and not won, I'm telling you, you have won. You've helped me, you've helped millions of other people. And that's what I used to say to my parents who used to buy lottery tickets and not win. I said, don't worry, I've won the lottery for you many times over.
Do you do the lottery, Gurinder?
Occasionally I do, yes.
Yeah, well, Friday's 158 million. How many movies could you make for that?
Oh my God, that's it. I'm off to the
All
shops.
Right. Can we have a round of applause, please? Control room, round of applause. Class behind the glass for Gurinder Chadha! Secret Squirrel, surprise, spontaneous pop-up guest. Or was it always written that was going to happen?